Standing right behind me in this big old box is Craftsman's new large resin vertical storage shed. Now, once assembled, it stands about as tall as I am, just under 6 feet, a little bit wider than I am at 4.5 feet, and just under 3 feet in depth with 54 cubic feet of storage. Now, if you're curious about getting one of these, what you get in the box, how to put it together, and what it's all about, stay tuned, because that's what I'm here for. Now, before we get too carried away, let's first talk about the beast that is this box right here. First off, it weighs 110 pounds. It's a big, heavy, bulky box. I can't stress this enough. I can't pick it up. It's more of one of those sliding it around on the floor type of a scenario. So you're going to need a buddy to help you out when you go to the hardware store, load it, unload it, and possibly put it together. The box itself is pretty big. 71 inches tall, 34 inches wide, 11 inches deep. So you're going to need a pickup truck to go get this. Speaking of which, don't even try a car. It's not going to work. Maybe a big SUV with that rear hatch open might work, but I highly recommend a pickup truck. Now, at the time of publishing this video, the price is $299. So let's stop yapping, talking about it. Open up the box, start putting it together. Roof piece, instruction manual, side piece, left door, right back, hardware, left back, the left side, the base, some sort of cross member support bar. Uh-oh, secrets revealed. The Craftsman Knee Saver 2000. In addition to all the resin panels that you get from Craftsman, of course, you get a bunch of other fun things like their instruction manual, these door hinges, which are very sturdy metal, check those out. You also get these half hinges. I haven't figured out what those are for yet, a bracket, a bunch of other miscellaneous hardware, screws, washers, 2 BB-8s. You get a door latch, 2 roof locks, your left and right door handle, a support bracket. For tools, you're going to need a level, some gloves, some safety glasses, a mallet, a square, and a guy named Philip. All right, let's start building this thing. This is the floor panel. Now, you would typically start building this on a very flat surface, either a concrete slab or a wood platform. Don't build this on top of dirt or grass or anything like that. It needs to be a very flat, dry surface. So if you don't have that, make sure you build it up with a little bit of a wood platform. You're gonna have to DIY that yourself. For me, it's going out on concrete slabs. So it's flat in here, it's gonna be flat out there. So I'm gonna build it here in the studio and then pull it out there when I'm all done. So first thing we're gonna do is put some walls on. All right, so this is how it's gonna play out. We've got our floor panel down there and the opening, which is the doors, is facing you. We're gonna construct the walls first. We're gonna start with the left side. So we're gonna do the left panel and then the left rear and then the right side and then the right rear. And these are pretty easy to figure out because they're all labeled individually. It says right here, left side. You can see there's these notches right here and there's holes in the floor. See the holes? So the notches just go straight down into the holes and slide in. So once you've got them in there, they just slide to the back. So there, I've got it in place. Okay, so here's the trick to getting the first 2 panels together, which can be a little tricky to figure out at first. Yeah, you know, once we get this going, right side is gonna be a breeze, right? So you get the left panel in all the way to the back. And then this back panel needs to go into 2 places. It needs to notch into the bottom and notch into the left. But on the bottom, it just kind of snaps into place just with pressure. So the trick is to get the notches from the left back aligned up on the left side, push it down, and then give it a firm push and it will pop in to the bottom floor panel and then you'll be good to go, trust me. So let's do the same thing we did on the left side. Put the tabs into the slots, bang it back, and then work on the last piece to the puzzle. Whoa! Yee, sorry about that. Okay, with the rear panel, just like we did on the left side, we need to slide it into these slots here on the side panel and then lean it back and then snap it into place in the floor so it matches up to this. There we go. Lean it over, put it into place, and then press down, or pull down, I guess. Oh, there we go. Hey there. So if you see a gap down at the bottom, like I just showed you, all you gotta do is come up here in the top and just take your hands and your body weight and just pull down in this corner like this, and it snaps into place. Next, we want to secure these 2 back panels together so it's not flopping around like that. So use 8 of the 20 screws that they gave you and a Phillips screwdriver. Don't use an electric or power screwdriver because you don't want to go too far with these because you will strip it. It's just resin, plastic, so don't overdo this. Cinch it together. Let's get the first one in. Don't over tighten, just get it to where it's snug. Well, hidey ho, neighbor. Sorry, I couldn't resist. All right, to secure the top, use the supplied bolt, 2 washers and nut, and your Phillips screwdriver. All right, good and tight. And no, you don't need a wrench back there. Now we're going to install the door latch on the bottom of the right door, on the outside, not the inside. There's 2 parts to the door latch, the latch itself and the housing. The housing has these teeth right there, you can see them, not on the other side, just one side. So they wedge right in there. So you basically have to kind of push it down in there so the teeth are on the back side. You can kind of feel it with your finger. And then once you feel it, you just snap it in like that. Once you got that latch housing in there real good and you're sure it ain't gonna come out, the way you put the latch in is this way. So you put it in like this, and then you're supposed to press it real hard until it snaps into place. Like that. And then it can go up and down. This is the left side of the shed. This is the left door. Now, to attach the two, you use these metal hinges, and the way they work is pretty cool actually. They end up, after you get them all on, there's 3 on each side, is they kind of grab onto the inside here and then snap on. But first, you have to take all 3 of these on each door and you just slide it in like that. Then you pull it all the way back here so it doesn't fall off. And then once you get all 3 of them on, then you snap them into place, open up the door a little bit and take some screws and tighten that thing down. It's pretty cool. All right, the doors are all hinged up. Let's see if they close all right and maybe test out the door latch. That works. To install the roof panel, you need to first install these 2 half hinges into the back panels. There's 4 of these, 2 per side. So it's a little confusing how they work because it doesn't look like they would match up, but once you see how it's done, you'll totally get it. So check this out. You put the first one in, and you rotate it up, and then you put the other one in from the other side, there, and then you smash them together. There you go, there's your hinge. Now, once you've done this side, just repeat the process for the other back side. Now it's time to share with you the anatomy of the underside of the roof of your shed. Check that out. Made in USA, very nice. So this is where it can get a little confusing with the instructions, so I want to take some time to show this to you. This door clip bracket is the easiest of the 2 things that you need to install. You've got that rail and you've got this door clip bracket. It's pretty easy to understand how it goes because there's holes on the bottom of it and then there's these dimples. So basically you just place it right over there and you start the 2 screws and put them in. Push real hard because you got to break through. This support bracket's a little confusing at first to figure out. It goes in the front, right behind that door clip bracket, rests in there like that. Now, there's no pre-drilled holes, but the spots are these tabs. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess you're not supposed to do the one in the center. I don't know why, but that's what they tell you. So basically you have to line it up and eyeball it, and maybe start with 1, make sure it's secure, and then do the rest. So I'm going to use this one as my first one. So I'm going to center it right there. Nice. Okay, here's the last one of this silly little support bracket. They go in way easier than I thought. All right, that sucker is on there. It is not going anywhere. All the hardware is attached to the front of the underside of the roof, and now it's time to put the roof on with these holes in the back going into those hinges, those really weird hinges that are up here on top. So, hello. All right, good and snug. Now remember we installed that door clip bracket right here on the underside of the front lip of the roof? Well, that does a really good job at keeping the door from going all the way in. Now we can install the door handles, and all you need for that is a Phillips screwdriver, the long screws, and those big washers. Nice. Hey there, I've brought you into the box to show you the last step. It's the installation of the roof lock, which involves this lock and one of the screws with a washer. Now what I figured out is that the roof isn't meant to open and close, so this keeps it closed. And so the way that this gets installed is like this. You take one and you stick it up here. There's an indentation on the side panel, and that's where the end of this goes into. Okay, once this little lock is in place, this allows you to take a Phillips screw and the washer and secure it to the roof so it won't open. Just like that. And nope, it will not open at all. That roof's on there good, man. That is not going anywhere. All right, let's close up shop for now. Looks nice. So there's two tools that I haven't shown you guys yet. That is the level and the square. The level has some ridiculous magnets at the bottom, by the way. Good job, Craftsman, because that's a heavy square. Anyway, I haven't used these yet because this is not the final resting home of this shed. It's going outside on concrete slabs. So once I get it out there, make sure it's all leveled up, because what you don't want to have happen is to load it all up with heavy stuff and to have it leaning off to the side or get gaps here and there down the bottom, because then insects will get in there, maybe rodents if the gap's big enough. Rain, of course, you want to keep out the elements, and maybe the locks won't work once it's kind of warpy. So let's get it outside and do that, load it up with some stuff. Well, hello there. Welcome to the Craftsman large vertical storage shed on the side of my home. Now you'll notice on the back wall and on the sides that there's these indentations, 1, 2, 3, and that's so that you could put in your own wood shelves. There's information in the instruction manual on the sizes of those, so you know exactly which size to make to put them in here. It doesn't come with those, obviously. Now, I'm not going to be doing that because I'm going to be storing my lawnmower and some tall tools in here. And you'll notice behind me, I've got another storage shed. That one I've had for 5 years. That's also from Craftsman. Would you stay open? That's also from Craftsman. And it's held up incredibly well. I've got no issues with it whatsoever. These come with a 10-year limited warranty. They're made in the USA, high quality, very easy to move around when they're empty, and very sturdy. And I haven't had any issues with the other one. Just incredible. So for more information, just click the link down in the description. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna load this thing up and I'll catch you guys next time for another one.